Hello, Nick here from TechNuovo and welcome back to the channel. These are the new S1000W wireless bookshelf speakers from Edifier. Let's take a look. What a lump these are, but in a good way, of course. These are traditional big, heavy bookshelf speakers, wood construction, I assume MDF, with a light walnut-like veneer to the sides, satin black to the rest of it, plus each speaker sits on 4 chrome legs. Size-wise, each speaker comes in at 198 by 345 by 295 mil, and each weigh 8 kilograms as well. Each speaker has a removable mesh grille if you wanted to see the driver and tweeter. These speakers are also slightly angled up, which they're saying improves acoustics and will certainly help if you mount these on a desk with your head at a higher level. Overall, a very premium and well-built pair of speakers, albeit quite classic in appearance, which may or may not be for everyone. Moving on to spec, and each speaker has a 5.5-inch mid-range driver and a 1-inch tweeter plus a bass port to the rear. The total power output between the two speakers is 120 watts. They offer Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connections, so you can connect them to your home network and access them through apps such as Apple AirPlay, Alexa, Tidal and Spotify. They are high-res certified, which means they support audio with a sample rate of up to 24-bit 192 kHz if you've got a device that will provide that. Other than wireless connections, wired inputs include line in or RCA ×2, optical in and coax in as well. There is also 3 knobs on the back of the right speaker for volume and input selection, plus treble and bass. To connect the speakers to your home network, you need to get the Edifier Home app and follow the on-screen instructions to connect them up, which didn't take long at all. This then means you can access the speakers direct from various apps such as Spotify, which is generally my go-to streaming service. Within the app, you can play, pause, change tracks and volume, select inputs, view model specifics and connect it to your Amazon account to enable Alexa. The app also provides firmware updates and you'll be prompted when you load up the app if there is one available, and it will download and install it for you. There are no EQ options via the app and no music or movie modes or presets, which would have been quite a nice thing to have if you wanted to plug these into the TV. The only options you have for tweaking the sound is via the treble and bass knobs on the rear of the right speaker. Otherwise, you can connect to your smart device via Bluetooth like you would any other Bluetooth device, or connect a physical device to the speakers via the provided cables. Regarding setup and positioning of the speakers, you have to use the provided speaker cable, linking left to right, but it is 6 meters long, so should be sufficient enough. As for controls, limited via the speaker direct at the rear, so the remote control is needed at all times. Nice remote, slim and lightweight, and includes power on off, mute, play pause, track and volume control, plus source selection for hardwired connections and Wi-Fi Bluetooth as well. The buttons work well, no complaints at all. It looks like you need the remote to turn the speakers on. I wasn't able to turn the speakers on with the volume or input selection button at the rear. Moving on to audio performance, and it's really quite good. At low volumes, fantastic for working, and I really enjoyed listening to them. Well-balanced sound profile, good clarity and smooth bass, not overpowering or underpowering. Mid-volume, the quality continues, and now the bass is really kicking in. But again, it's fairly well balanced, but at this point, I did start to adjust the treble and bass at the rear. The kids wanted me to put on some Bruno Mars, and while playing, I turned the bass up ever so slightly and the treble down a little bit so it wasn't such a crisp sound. This is also when the feet of the speakers come into play, and they do a great job of keeping the speaker secure from bass transfer. Turning the volume almost to maximum, it's incredibly loud and even crisper than before. More bass, less treble for me, and this was generally what I did when listening to pop, rock, country, and sometimes when I put some R&B on, I turn the bass up even more, and that really popped. The quality remains at the higher volumes, which is fantastic to see, as a lot of other speakers generally lose the quality at top end. It's so loud you can't hear anyone else in the house, which is great, I think. In the living room, dining room, after a few drinks, have these on, and that's when the party really gets started. I also think over time these speakers will mature, the sound will mature, and it's hard to get specific, but even over the last 2 weeks of me using them daily, I'm sure the sound got better at the end of the 2 weeks. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use these for video content, but that's just me. I like a soundbar. but I did watch various content and some trailers with these plugged into my TV. I used the optical option on my TV as there is no HDMI option available, and I was pleasantly surprised. The dialogue was clear and loud, bass from explosions rumbled on my TV cabinet, and I did enjoy it. As far as I'm aware, there is no Dolby or DTS available, and I assume it's only AAC. This is not an ideal setup, but you usually ask for it, so here are the speakers in action, which may give you an idea of how they sound in real life.
Baby, you never really touched me lately. I get the feeling you're just not that into me no more. So, tell me, cause I can read your mind, I'm sorry. I need a little invite to your brain, just let me know. This is so confusing, all I feel is you.
Now, if you know of Edifier and know some of their previous products, you may have already seen these speakers before. There is an existing pair of speakers called the S1000 Mark II, which look identical in appearance, and it looks like components too. However, they've removed the Mark II, swapped it with a W, and then you've got a wireless version of these speakers. There are also two big brothers, you could say, the S2000 Mark II and the S3000 Pro, which do have fundamental differences, and I did actually review the S3000 3 years ago and enjoyed them very much, if my memory serves me well. So there we have it. They were the S1000W wireless bookshelf speakers from Edifier. Great performance. I think they look good. I like the classic look, and input options galore, almost. No HDMI available, but I personally don't think that's a major issue. And they are also rather large, so they didn't quite fit on my desk with my monitor and PC, but on a bookshelf, dedicated speaker stands, not a problem at all. Price wise, they retail at £299 here in the UK, and I think you get a lot of bang for your buck for that price. If you have stuck around until the end, then thank you very much, and if you want to see more videos from us in the future, hit that subscribe button and all our future videos will pop up in your feed.